students. Today in this video we are going to start with the next class, that is the class Reptilia. So first of all, let us see what is the meaning of Reptilia actually says. First of all, these organisms actually from the locomotory behavior, the word Reptilia comes, where rapier means creeping or crawling animals. These lizards or the crocodiles, these organisms, they actually crawl or they creep, right? So that's why this group of organisms, they belong to the class, that class is Reptilia. Now let's just move to some of the general characteristics. See, first of all, they generally have the creeping or crawling mode of locomotion. So from that actually this word comes, that is Reptilia. Now if you see the body parts, then you can see that they will have a proper head, then a trunk, and they will have a tail. Some of the organisms have the tail like the crocodiles, and along with that they will have also 4 limbs. Okay, so as these organisms, they are tetrapoda, so they are going to have the 4 limbs. But there is an exception that in case of some of the reptiles, these 4 limbs are absent. If you see the example that are Ophiurosaurus, that is snakes. In case of the snakes, these organisms actually as a secondary adaptation, they completely lack the locomotory organ. Okay, limbs are absent in case of the snakes. Otherwise, in case of rest of the reptiles like the crocodile, alligator, then the lizards, then Selonia, that is turtles, in case of them, they are going to have the proper 4 limbs. They actually are the true land vertebrate. With the help of the limbs, they crawl or creep in the land. Okay, so in one sense we can say that these organisms, they are the true land vertebrate. Okay, so why they are called as the true land vertebrate? Because these organisms, they do not actually have the lungs, right? In case of them, they have the lung, they don't have the gills, they have only the lungs, right? So if you see some of the organisms like the turtles or crocodile, you can see that they are found in the aquatic environment. But though they are present in the aquatic environment, then also they will have the lungs, right? In the lungs, they can store the air for a long period of time, and whenever that air suppose get reduced, they once again come to the surface and take once again air. So proper pulmonary respiration is same. Now the next characteristic, see, the skin is covered by dry scales. Okay, see what we have seen in case of the Pisces. Pisces have the proper scales. Okay, different type of scales we have seen in case of the Chondrichthyes, placoid type of scale, in case of Osteichthyes, cycloid, ctenoid and glenoid type of scales were found. Now in case of this group of organism, what happened after the Pisces? So after the Pisces, what we have seen in the amphibians, once again those scales, the outer body covering, that is the exoskeleton, that is lost. Why? Because they have to perform the cutaneous respiration. But whenever it comes to the Reptilia, this class actually have once again this characteristic, that is presence of conified scale. The scales are very much hard, right? If you see the crocodiles, even if you see the snakes, their body is covered with fine scales, and these are known as scute. And in case of the in case of the turtles or the tortoise, they have a very thick scale actually. And what is that? That is known as carapace. Okay, so carapace is characteristic to the turtles and tortoise. So you know already, if you know, then what is the difference between turtle and tortoise, let me know. And if you don't know, see, if it is coming to the turtles, they are aquatic, and if it is the tortoise, they live in the land. in case of the turtles, the forelimbs are modified to flippers, and in case of the tortoise, they have all the four limbs. The forelimbs and the hind limbs, both these two limbs, they are properly digited limbs, right? But in case of turtles, the forelimbs are modified to flipper, who helps actually in swimming, right? So in case of the turtles and tortoise, they have a very hard skeleton, exoskeleton made up of scales above their body. What is that? That is known as carapace. Remember that? Next one, see, in case of them, the ear, they don't also have the external ear, right? In case of us, what we have, this muscular structure, this structure is known as the external ear. This is the tympanum. This is the tympanum. This is known as the pinna, right? So what is happening in case of the reptiles? What happened? This part, this pinna part is not present, and inside the pinna we have an external auditory meatus, that is the canal present. That canal is also absent in case of the reptiles, right? In case of the reptiles, like in case of amphibian, I told that external ear is absent, only the middle and internal ear was there. In case of reptiles also, only the middle ear and internal ear is present, right? And the first part of this middle ear, what we can call it, this is known as the tympanum. So their tympanum represents the ear, right? Now just see one very important point, that above in the region of the head, just above this nose or the nostrils, they have one very important sensory organ that is known as Jacobson organ, right? So what is the main characteristics of Jacobson organ? It is very much peculiar. It is found specifically, see here, I have mentioned here that Jacobson organ is present in case of lizards and snakes. So this Jacobson organ is present above the nostril, who is specifically designed to take the smell. They can take the volatile chemicals in that vomeronasal organ, and they can understand the smell of that specific chemical, right, or that specific particle. So this Jacobson organ is actually a sense of smell, okay, sensory organ for smell. Now to see next one, heart is three-chambered. Actually what we can call that, this is a 3.5 chamber. What happened to the fishes? I told this is two-chambered heart. In case of amphibia, this is three-chambered heart, and in case of the reptiles, this is 3.5 or incompletely four-chambered heart. What is happening that in case of the heart, their ventricle are there, above the two auricles are present. This is the right auricle, this is the left auricle, and this is a single ventricle. But whenever it comes to the ventricle, what happened? Interventricular septum is just formed, and if it completes, then it will be completely four-chambered heart. But four-chambered heart is present only in one of the organism, that is crocodile. Other than rest of all of the organism, they will have the three-chambered heart, where the interventricular septum, this is the ventricle, right, and the septum that divides the ventricle into right ventricle and left ventricle, what we can call it, this is known as interventricular septum. So interventricular septum is just formed in the reptiles. So that's why we can call 3.5 or incompletely four-chambered heart. And in case of crocodile, it is completely four-chambered heart is present. Let me tell you some interesting point of crocodile also, that in case of crocodile, what happened? We use a term that crocodile tear. But what is that crocodile tear? Why the crocodiles constantly cry? Actually, they don't cry. Constantly from the eye, they release the tear-like watery fluid substance. And why this is happening? Because in case of them, they cannot maintain the salt and electrolyte balance. So that's why, to maintain that salt and electrolyte balance, they have to release the salts from the eye like tear, right? So that is known as the crocodile tear. It's not due to emotion. This is just due to maintain the salt and electrolyte balance, right? Now the next point, see, teeth is pleurodont, lizard are thecodont. Now we have to see the different type of teeth. We already have seen that in the digestive system, the different types of teeth, if you can remember. See the type of teeth. How many types of teeth we have? We have 3 types of teeth. First of all, this is a type of teeth. Okay, I will draw 3 types of teeth here, right? Now just see how the teeth are different from each other, right? So this type of teeth where with the socket the teeth are just attached, that type of teeth is known as acrodont type of teeth, right? Where this socket and the teeth don't have any connection, right? They will be just attached superficially by just some fibrous connective tissue. So that's why very often this can happen, that whenever they catch the prey, this teeth can fall, and once again they will grow, but that teeth where in the socket they are not embedded, they will just superficially present, and the teeth will attach to the socket by just some collagenous fibrous tissue. That type of dentition is known as acrodont type of teeth, and it is present basically in case of the fishes, right? Fishes and amphibians, we have acrodont type of teeth. Now the next type of teeth is present in case of the reptile. What is that? Pleurodont. Now what is pleurodont type of teeth? Here the teeth, to secure properly in the socket, it is getting embedded, but this embedment is not proper. So what happened, this teeth, they are getting embedded, right? But its embedment is to a little part. Okay, complete embedment is not possible, so it is half embedded, right? So this type of teeth where the socket is developed in this maxillary and mandibular bone, that is known as areolar bone. In the areolar bones, some sockets are formed, and in the socket to one part that teeth is attached and another part is remain free. That type of teeth, this is known as pleurodont. Okay, so this is known as pleurodont type of teeth. In case of this reptiles, this is pleurodont type of teeth present. Now see, if it is in case of lizards, right? In case of the lizards, the pleurodont type of teeth is present. If it is coming to the crocodile, see crocodile, this order Crocodilia is very much advanced. They have lots of advanced characteristics which resemble to the mammals, right? Like already I told that in case of the heart, the crocodile have 4-chambered heart. Similarly, if it comes to the teeth is also thecodont like human, like the mammals, right? So what is the type of teeth? So in case of the thecodont type of teeth, the areolar socket is completely developed and the teeth is completely embedded, so that at any point it will not fall, right? So that type of teeth, what is that known as? This is known as thecodont type of teeth. Thecodont type of teeth is basically present in case of the mammals, right? And pleurodont is present in case of the reptiles. So here we have one very important thing, that in case of lizards the teeth is pleurodont, and in case of the crocodiles this is thecodont. In case of mammals also we have thecodont type of teeth. What happened to the birds? Birds don't have the teeth. Instead they have the beak. Yes, from the beak, a very important point also is important, that if it is in case of the Coelonia, that is the order where the tortoise and turtle come, this group of organism, they also don't have the teeth, right? They instead have a very hard plate-like structure. This resembles a beak. Okay, so in case of the Coelonia, that is turtle and tortoise, they also don't have the teeth. Remember that, very much important. So this is the next point, that yeah, teeth is pleurodont in lizard and thecodont in the crocodile. Teeth are absent and replaced by beak in the turtles. Okay, in case of the turtles, teeth are absent. Instead, they have this plate-like structure. The maxilla and mandible itself form the plate-like structure so that they can at least chew, right? So that is in case of the turtles, that is the teeth absent in the turtles. Next one, see, come to the kidney. That point is also important because for the first time kidney become metanephric, right? Now this well-developed, most complex type of kidney is been formed, that is known as metanephric type of kidney, right? So that's why as metanephric kidney is there, renal portal system is present, but it is a little underdeveloped, right? Next one, see, these organisms, they are uricotelic. Uricotelic means what? These organisms, nitrogenous waste product is uric acid. If you can see the lizard's excreta, you can see that there is a white substance, and along with that white, a black dot will be there. So that white substance where it is nearly it is insoluble in water, that is known as uric acid, because these reptiles, lizards, they take very less amount of water, so that's why their waste product is uric acid, right? Remember, these organisms, they are generally uricotelic organism where the waste product is uric acid. Next one, see, this urinary bladder. Bladder is absent in case of the snakes and crocodiles. So urinary bladder is absent. Remember these exceptions, very much important. Crocodile and snake, they don't have the urinary bladder. So that's why whenever they produce the waste product, they release the waste product outside their body. Next one, see, this is also very much important point, that in case of the reptiles, for the first time 12 pairs of cranial nerves have developed. Till the amphibia, what we have seen, that the amphibians have 10 pairs of cranial nerves. The fishes, the Pisces, that also have the 10 pairs of cranial nerves. But whenever it comes to the reptiles, for the first time 12 pairs of cranial nerves, that means the sensory organ have more developed. So 12 pairs of cranial nerves have been developed right from the reptiles, continue in the apes, also present in the mammals, right? This is very much important, remember. Next one, they are also cold-blooded. That means these organisms, they are poikilothermic animals. They cannot maintain their constant body temperature. According to the change in the environmental temperature, their body temperature also falls. It's not like that their blood will be always cold. Whenever they suppose present in 40 degrees Celsius, their body temperature also will change to 40 degrees Celsius. If it is present in minus 5 degrees Celsius, then what will happen? Will that blood will be minus 5 degrees Celsius? It will get freeze inside the blood vessel, so that individual will die. Isn't that? So that's why, so that they are poikilothermic animals, they cannot maintain the constant body temperature. That's why they hibernate and estivate, right? So in the extreme winter, they will undergo hibernation, and in extreme summer, they will undergo estivation, right? So remember that. Next one, see, snakes and the lizards, they shed their scales as the skin crust. This is very important point. You can see in case of the snakes, what happened? Their body is covered by the scales. Whenever that organism have to suppose grow, what will happen? They have to grow, but their skeleton, their outer exoskeleton is not allow them to grow, because it is covered by a thick layer. They have been completely covered. So that's why they remove their skin crust, okay, and after that they will grow, attain growth, and after that once again they will form the scales. So that's why they shed their skin crust periodically whenever they have to grow. Like ecdysis you have seen in the phylum Arthropoda. Similarly, in case of reptiles also, skin crust removal process is very much common. Now come to the next point, that in case of the reptile, the sexes are separate, the male and female organisms are separate, sexual dimorphism is seen. Fertilization is internal. Fertilization, that means meeting of male and female gamete occurs inside the body. Next one, they are oviparous, they are laying eggs, and a very unique thing that their eggs now are covered by calcareous shell. So that the eggs, whenever they lay the eggs, that will be the terrestrial organism. So they have to lay their eggs in the soil. So in the soil, they have to protect their embryo inside the egg cage, isn't that? So that's why this egg will be covered by a shell. Okay, remember that scale that is made up of calcium carbonate. So that's why their shell is calcareous shell. Now the next one, that they are covered by the scales. eggs are covered by, they are covered by calcareous covering. Okay. Next one, they have the direct development. Direct development means in case of this organism, there are no larval stage. The egg hatch, and whenever they hatch, the young ones will come out. They completely resemble to the adult. Okay, no more further metamorphosis will be present. So they will have direct development. So that is all about the reptiles. But yes, one very much important thing is also here. What are they? That is poison. Okay, so in case of one very unique organism, that is snakes. So in case of the snake, they actually release, they have one modification that they produce snake poison, that is known as snake venom. Okay, so what is that venom actually? See, in case of us, remember in the digestive system we have studied about the parotid gland. Okay, here this is the largest parotid gland, salivary gland is present. So in case of them also, in case of the snakes, the parotid gland is converted into a poison gland, right? And whenever that saliva is coming to the buccal cavity, it mixes with some toxins and digestive juice, and it forms the snake venom, right? So it is nothing but actually the parotid gland who converts into a poison gland, and their teeth who actually bite and they can release that poison, that is the teeth, what we can call this is as the fang. Okay, next one, come to the poison. There are two types of poison. One is hemolytic, okay, and another is neurotoxic. Okay, so one thing you have to know that what is hemolytic and neurotoxic type of poison. What is that, right? So just see, if it is hemolytic type of toxin, then what happens? It breaks the RBCs. Whenever that poison comes to our body, it releases that toxin, and our RBCs and other tissues breaks, right? And if it is coming to the neurotoxic type of toxin, it paralyzes the central nervous system. So one organism which have the hemolytic type of toxin, that means poison, that is found in case of viper. So whenever viper bites, it releases that hemolytic poison, and that poison will break the RBCs, and further the tissues will be broken down. So that's why we cannot carry the nutrition and the gases. So due to that breakage of the tissues inside your body, the individual dies. So that is hemolytic type of poison. Now the next one, that is the neurotoxic type of poison. It is found in the cobra. Okay, next one, krait. Okay, so cobra and krait, their type of poison is neurotoxic. What is neurotoxic type of toxin? That it paralyzes the central nervous system. We should know one thing, that our central nervous system also regulates our breathing. Okay, so that individual, if the central nervous system gets paralyzed, that individual cannot properly breathe, and due to suffocation or asphyxiation, that individual died due to the lack of breathing, or due to the lack of proper oxygen, due to suffocation or due to asphyxiation, that individual dies. So that type of toxin, neurotoxin, is present in case of cobra and krait. So these are the type of poison you need to know. These are the additional points actually. So all of these characteristics are present in the reptiles. You have to know some of the exceptions, and those exceptions are, first of all, the kidney. Kidney is metanephric, and they have 12 pairs of cranial nerve. If it comes to the heart, heart is 3-chambered, 2 auricle and 1 ventricle, and along with that, the interventricular septum is forming, but it is not complete, right? The next thing, that in case of the teeth point, this teeth is pleurodont in case of the lizards, and if it comes to the crocodile have the techodont type of dentition. So that is all about the reptiles. Hope you have understood. That's all about. Thank you.